Loser! How do you like your new school uniform? I think it looks great on you. Those were the words of my high school bully, Greg Umberfield. Now, if you're all wondering
well, that was Singaporean Darren Tay starting his winning speech called Outsmart, Outlast last month at the Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking 2016. He beat 30,000 competitors from around the world, not just for his charisma, elocution, and subject matter, but also for daring to pull on and pull off so stylishly that pair of bright white underwear. Let's have the 27-year-old champion speak for himself. The managing director and master trainer of the Public Speaking Academy is with me in studio this morning. Darren Tay, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Let's get first things first out of the way, the underwear scenario. Why did you decide to do that?
The underwear was a very powerful prop because by putting it on, it allows the audience members to enter my world, to be in that same moment as I was when I was age 14 and bullied by Greg Umberfield. So even without saying anything, they were able to connect and visualize and feel the emotions as well. And as for why it's white in color, because I had a conversation with my mentor, who's the year 2000 world champion of public speaking at Tay. He said that in America, we would identify a lot with the tidy whities. So not so much of a grey underwear or rainbow colored underwear. It must be white.
Yeah. Okay. So in that winning speech, you tell the story of meeting your childhood bully. Why did you take this experience and use it as part of your performance?
Because I believe it has a very powerful universal message. And it wasn't so much about just dealing with an external bully. It's also more importantly dealing with an internal bully. And every single day we deal with our own internal bullies. That means the negative thoughts, the anxiety, some people have certain nervousness issues as well. So I was trying to share that powerful message and how I managed to overcome that in my speech.
How challenging was it to craft it so that it was amusing and humorous, but also had a tone of gravity?
Yeah, it wasn't very easy because more importantly, I had a very serious, impactful and powerful message to share. But the best way to connect with the audience within just 7 minutes and 30 seconds is either to tell a story and make a point, or it's to humor. So I thought using humor appropriately would help me deliver that message very well. And I had to craft it carefully, not just to fit the American audience, but also audience members from other countries as well, because there were about delegates from 142 countries.
Wow, and you beat out about 30,000 other competitors. You're saying actually there are more. But how did you prepare for this? It seems like a very daunting task, exactly.
Correct, because many people don't see the behind the scenes. So what I did was I actually had a few months to craft that speech, and after which I tested at local Toastmasters club. So I tested before Singaporean audience, and after which I decided to go to the United States several days earlier, prior to the convention. So I visited a club every single day in Washington, D.C. and tested before the American audience to find out whether they are comfortable with my colloquial parlance and whether I need to make modifications along the way.
And did you tweak the speech after?
Yeah, I did tweak because originally I said secondary school, but in America they don't say secondary school, they say high school. And in America they don't say tire puncture, they say a flat tire. So those were the things that I had to change and tweak.
Why do you think you won though? What is it? Is it the story about the bully? Why do you think you had the upper hand?
I think at the end of the day, it boils down to the universal message. A strong message that appeals to not just one or two individuals, but to a huge number of people. And they can all relate to it, whether it's an external bully, or for people who have never been bullied before, dealing with internal bullies. So I think it resonated within the audience members. But more importantly, it's also the style of delivery, because they're quite used to having a certain style of delivery. But for me, I was a little bit more energetic, more passionate, and I tried to make use of other things like vocal variety and specific hand gestures.
What is it about public speaking that you enjoy? Because a lot of people would find it terrifying.
Yeah.
And even as a journalist, I'm here with a camera. I'm not in front of hundreds of people. What is it that you enjoy about this hobby?
I think for public speaking, it's really meaningful because within a short period of time, say about 6 to 7 minutes, I could deliver a strong and powerful message to change and impact the lives of many. So in just one speech, we can target, say, about 100 or maybe 1,000 individuals.
Okay, let you take the lead now. Give us a few tips for people who maybe want to become better or just even more comfortable when it comes to public speaking. What would you advise?
One of which would be to invest in a good mentor. Because if you invest in a good mentor, you can avoid making mistakes that the mentor has already made. So it shortens your learning curve, it accelerates your progress. So that would be one. The other one would be to invest in a powerful video camera so that you can video record your performance instead of just following conventional wisdom, practicing before a mirror. Because when you have your back face the mirror, you can't exactly observe those gestures. So you have it video recorded, and then you can play it back before a mentor to help you fine-tune along the way.
It's uncomfortable, though, to watch yourself, isn't it?
Correct. The first time it was extremely uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but I got used to it along the way.
And also keep hand gestures at a certain height?
Yes, so hand gestures, it would be advisable not to have it below the belt, because some people, when they gesticulate, it's below the belt. It creates a huge distance between the hands and the face. Some people have the hand gestures too high at the chest level or the sternum level, so your shoulders would be raised. It's best to drop and relax the shoulders, have it at the belly button area. Imagine that you're in a swimming pool and water is at your waist level, you gesticulate at that level. So that would be for hand gestures. And I think for pauses, many people are not comfortable with pausing because they associate pausing with anxiety, nervousness, forgetting materials. But the important point about pausing is you have to pause with sustained eye contact.
And before you came on set with me, I asked you if you're nervous or not. I assumed you wouldn't be, but you said you were. You've never been here before. How do you deal with slip-ups or anxiety before a speech?
So it's important to note that because many people ask me, is it possible to get rid of the butterflies in the stomach? But many a times it's to just deal with the relationship with anxiety, is to make those butterflies fly in formation. And the best way to deal with it is either through power posing. That means you can make use of high impact gestures, increase surface area of your body, something like this, and for about 1 to 2 minutes, in private of course. And the other one would be perhaps to test out your speech, say at a local Toastmasters club or at before family members or relatives.
Who are your favorite speakers of all time? Do you have someone that you really look up to and that you turn to when you want inspiration?
I turn to my mentor, the year 2000 world champion of public speaking at Tay, because he's someone who's extremely dynamic, he's very humorous, and he knows exactly how to come up with powerful stories. Because at the end of the day, we know that facts tell, but stories sell. So he's one good example. Another good example would be Steve Jobs. I think he has been studied by many different people, even in China as well. And of course, our late Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, is also a very powerful and impactful speaker. I've watched some of his videos and looked at and studied some of his hand gestures as well when he speaks.
So top 5 things to avoid, a recap for us. What do you think we should not do when we public speak?
I think the first thing to take note of would be to avoid having closed hand gestures. So for example, to have your arms folded or to cross your leg, instead to have open hand gestures to welcome the audience members in. The other one would be avoid speaking too fast. Try and have a good vocal variety. So there are 3 key variables: the speed, the volume, and the pitch. And of course, have to take note, if you were to use humor in your speech, when that humor does not quite work, avoid just repeating the humor, but rather just transit smoothly and move on, as if that wasn't a funny point to begin with in the first place.
Yeah, it's amazing because public speaking, it's so much more than just the words you say. It's also about your body and how you use that as well. Fascinating. Thank you so much. I was chatting with public speaking expert Darren Tay, who won this year's Toastmasters World Championship of Public Speaking. Congratulations again. I'm not self-conscious at all with you here. Thank you all. Thank you for all of your fantastic tips on how we can improve when it comes to public speaking.